Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the What Was That podcast. I'm Jazzy.
And I'm Addi.
So on our last episode, we took our land legs off to sea, but I think we might have traveled too far.
You're telling me. After a weekend of being sick, then diving headfirst into those stories, it makes me glad that my hobbies are on land.
Like we've talked about before, though, that's not always a good thing.
Jesus Christ, are we doing another camping episode? Can I have one thing?
If it makes you feel better, the first couple of stories are write-ins to us.
Yay.
So you're not alone.
You know what? That does help, so thank you guys. But I guess let's get to it. Let's go to the backwoods.
To the backwoods.
I also was like, when I said, are we doing another camping episode? I almost wrote in the script to be like, you wrote this script.
It's like, girl, I don't know. I'm reading this right now.
Reading this. You wrote this. You did all the stories.
That's funny because my Nana asked when I talked to her on the phone. She also says hi. She's like, what are you doing today? I was like, no clue.
Yeah. Camping.
I'm along for the ride.
Camping stories. I didn't know what else to do. I didn't have anything on the brain, and we had a few camping stories in our log, so.
Story 1. Ooh, okay. Story 1. This is our post on Backwoods Creepy. Share your eeriest camping / hiking / backwoods stories.
Yeah.
Before I got married and had kids.
Okay, try that again because I was like. Okay.
Do I start it before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Before I got married / had kids, I used to do a lot of solo backpacking / fly fishing trips. One summer I hiked all the way back to the Trinity Alps in Northern California. Third night I set up my tent and caught a few trout for dinner. I was at least 15 to 20 miles from any road that I knew of. In the middle of the night I woke up to something lightly hitting the side of my tent. I waited and it would continue in 2 to 5 minute intervals. I heard or smelled nothing else. Interesting. This went on for about an hour. Finally, it was either pee in my tent or get up and go outside. As I was leaving my tent, I just said in a loud voice that I would leave first thing in the morning. No idea what it was, but the thing stopped hitting the tent. In the morning, at first light, I got up and packed. There were 30 or 40 small stones and pine cones next to my tent. I was camping in a small meadow with no trees above my tent. I just packed up and left, no idea what it could have been, but it was definitely throwing debris at me.
Ooh.
Sasquatch or some shit kids.
Yeah, or well, probably, yeah, but I don't know. It's shit kids being 15 or 20 miles off trail. That's a far. It's like when I went camping back in June, there were these kids. I don't know why I made that face. I did because I'm high. But but there were these kids throwing rocks at these deer while we were camping, and that made me so mad.
Yeah.
That just made me think of it.
Shit kids.
But my first thing that I thought were fairies. Were fae.
Ooh, yeah.
In the woods. Like, they're just picking up things and little
just, like,
things and
throwing it.
Yeah, and they're like, get out of here.
Yeah, and you'd be like, hey, I'm going to leave in the morning. They're like, okay.
Okay, if you promise, because night 2 is not going to be friendly for you. Yeah, that is terrifying. This is one of the reasons I would never go backpacking or camping by myself.
No, not by myself.
Yeah, I see a lot of people who, I mean, on social media and whatnot, and I have friends who have gone and backpacked by themselves, and I just I'm too much of a little scaredy cat to do it. I don't know how you do it.
I can't even go on a hike by myself. So,
Yeah.
I'm too much of a weenie. What if something goes wrong? I've seen 127 hours.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
There are
that's
so
not...
many me walking on a completely flat, completely packed.
It's paved. There's a Starbucks at the beginning.
Yeah, it's going around Sloan's Lake. Blur it out. But that's how it freaks me out because you truly never know if something's going to happen. My biggest fear is, like we've talked about, getting stung by a bee because I've never been, It's not my biggest fear. It is a big...
I've been stung by a bee recently. Insert photo here. I got stung on the forehead.
But I don't know if I'm allergic to them. Yeah. So I'm scared that if I get stung by a bee and nobody's there, I'll go into anaphylactic shock and I'll die on a trail. Or a man will attack me.
Those are both very valid fears. If you want to try the bee thing, I know someone with bees.
I'm scared to.
That's fair. It doesn't feel good.
No, I would assume not.
It makes me instantly angry.
Yeah. I would assume that. Yeah. It's a stinger going in your skin.
Yeah, especially when it just like bzzz.
No.
Yeah.
So.
Fuck that bee.
But yeah, being 15 to 20 miles off of a road by yourself.
No.
I don't absolutely not. That sounds like a horror movie. That sounds like a nightmare.
If anything goes wrong, what are you going to do? You sprain your ankle. What are you going to do?
Has anybody seen Yellow Jackets?
Has anybody seen Yellow Jackets?
Yeah. The frog couple. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about.
You really know what she's talking about. Things can go wrong.
Very fast.
Even if you're just having a nice time.
Nope, you're
frogs.
Just giggling, joking around, talking about frogs, smoking some weird man's weed.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, yikes.
One thing leads to another.
Yeah, I think it is interesting that it stopped throwing. Sasquatch is a good idea too, like you said.
Yeah, if it's like little things. Because granted, I'm no Sasquatch expert. But all the documentaries that I've watched to bring up Bettina in this episode, they're throwing larger things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was kind of thinking that too at the beginning because I thought of this book that I read of Sasquatches.
Sasquatchians.
Yeah. With the plural of Sasquatch. They were throwing boulders, massive boulders at their house, completely demolishing their house. So big ass things. So the little rocks and pine cones is what makes me think of fairies.
Right.
Because they're like,
yeah. And they said that they heard or smelled nothing else.
Yeah.
And with Sasquatch, there's yelling that they do, and then apparently they also smell
I would
awful.
assume.
So
living out in the woods.
Just big, hairy, not showering. Damn, 7 feet tall.
You can pick me up and throw me across a room.
So, because I'm just a small little, I'm a wisp of a woman. He could just throw me.
I need Katie to chime in on this one and tell me if there are any Sasquatch books.
Oh, there definitely are.
Yeah, I mean, there's basilisk books. There definitely
there's a deviled egg book.
There is a deviled egg. Well, he's just an egg, right? He's just a hard-boiled egg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's evil.
He's evil, so he's a deviled egg.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a doorknob. There's a game.
There's a better way to do my arm. Hold on.
There's a game called Date Everything that came out that Gabby's obsessed with. She loves it. And hell yes.
So do we want breeding with Bigfoot, salacious Sasquatch?
I don't like
Sasquatch summer.
I'll do Sasquatch summer. I'm in for that.
Seduced by Bigfoot.
Okay. I like the cover.
With Bigfoot.
I don't like breeding. I don't like that.
Twilight Bone. Come for Bigfoot. Nights with Sasquatch.
Okay, well they're out there. That's cool. I think I'm into Sasquatch Summer. That one looks really cute. It looks like the Morning Glory Milking Farm cover. That's what it looks like.
Huh?
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Nope.
Look it up. Morning Glory Milking Farm is also a monster.
Oh, come back. Oh, it does look like that cover. Mm-hmm. Is it
a sequel? Or in the same world?
That's not what I was gonna ask, but I wonder if it is.
What were you gonna ask?
Same artist. I don't want to ask that on the internet. I don't want to
ask it and cut it out.
What are they milking? Because he's not a cow, so it's got to be his.
Hell no. to the no, no, no.
Yup.
Hell to the no.
Yup. It's
Very
exactly what you think it is. Look up the synopsis.
Very Zeus. The world building is excellent. Okay, hold on. Let's go to Reddit and see.
You gotta look up the Goodreads synopsis.
Okay.
You can't spoil the book by Reddit. 1 second.
Of course, her name is Violet. That Violet used to be on my baby name list. I gotta take it off. They're using it in too much smut.
Yeah, because it was on everyone's baby list.
Yeah.
Fire Beauregard.
Yeah.
And Baudelaire. The Baudelaire kids.
Violet is a typical down on her luck millennial. Mid-20s, overeducated, drowning in debt. On the verge of moving into her parents' basement. When life appears in the form of a very unconventional job in neighboring Cambric Creek, she has no choice but to grab it with both hands. Yada, yada, yada. The clientele is grade A certified prime beef with manly, meaty endowments to match. Milking Minotaurs isn't something Violet ever considered as a career option, but she's determined to turn the opportunity into a reversal of fortune. Ew.
Yep.
Yeah, it has 3.66 stars.
It's a popular book.
I need to send this to Chris.
Ice Planet Barbarians is another good, like, it's not, they're aliens. A Soul to Keep is that monster one I told you about with the tentacles.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Is this by the same person?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's amazing. That's the one where she partially owns a sex club.
What about The Dragon's Bride?
I have not read that, and I want to. Whispers of the Deep is the one I just read. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very good. A Soul to Heal is the second one to The Soul to Keep, and I haven't listened to that.
We should just do an episode where we choose outlandish smut, and I guess what it's about. And then you tell me what it's about.
Okay. That sounds great. That sounds super fun. Anyway, back to the story.
Damn, that's so crazy. Story 2.
Always end up on smut. I swear to God.
It's like 6 degrees to Kevin Bacon or whatever.
7, yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's every time. We should just change the topic of our podcast to just be smut reviews.
Yeah.
We should do one special episode a month where we review smut.
Yeah.
Would you guys be interested? Let us know in the comments.
Sessions.
When we start a Patreon, I feel like that would be in a more appropriate place to put that.
Yeah, like a smutty little book club.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Right? Mm-hmm. 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 Story 2.
Bing.
Story 2. Same thread as before. Not scary per se, but quite terrifying. It's late, so I won't go into full details as I'm super sleepy. But back in 2005, when I was 15, Hurricane Katrina first hit. We had no power, food, water, etc. for almost a month. So we went to North Louisiana for a few until things settled. But when we came back to see the damages that had taken place at our home, my parents assessed everything while I took off walking in our backyard, which was also a swampy marsh. About 5 minutes in, down a little trail I frequented most days, I was just mindlessly strolling when I looked up and was literally face to face with a large black panther. She was all black, and I vividly remember her thick, black, shiny tail. We were about 15 minutes apart, if that. I froze in fear and honestly thought I would die that day. She stood there with 3 paws on the ground, one lifted, like I had caught her off guard. We stood there and stared at each other for what felt like a lifetime, and before I knew it, she hissed, turned the opposite way, and was gone within seconds. I literally melted and fell to my knees in tears because I was so terrified. I ran home crying and found out later that several people in my parish had seen a black panther that same week. For several nights, I heard her outside my bedroom window in the swamp screaming, but I thought it was a woman being murdered until my mom told me it was a female panther calling for her mate. One of the craziest yet coolest stories I have. Not too long ago, some homeless people near me were on the news showing how they found large cat prints and had seen a black panther on the river. That's it.
Instantly Googled this. So, official sources are saying black panthers in Louisiana are a myth. However, there's people being like, nope, there's panthers out here.
Yeah.
So, interesting.
Yeah. I mean, that would be so scary. I imagine it like that scene from The Emperor's New Groove.
I'll look that up later. Okay. I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
I love that. I watch that movie probably more often than I should.
Yeah.
I'd say we watch it about once a year.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's not like super often, but I do. I love The Emperor's New Groove. It's one of my favorites. And yeah, so I think of that whenever I read this story the first time, and I actually commented that on this person's post. I was like, wow, it's just like the I wasn't like that. What did I say? Let me clarify. I said, that's crazy. I was traumatized from that scene in The Emperor's New Groove when I was a kid, so this might be my worst nightmare. I posted that 1 year ago today. Not today, but it just says 1 year ago. But yeah, it would be very scary. Fun fact about me, not panthers, but I guess panthers too. I had one of my hyperfixations, my special interests when I was a kid were big cats. Mm-hmm. So I loved everything about leopards and cheetahs and lions and panthers, but specifically leopards.
Yeah.
I got really into leopards and cheetahs for a little bit, but I got really into leopards when I was a kid, and we had to do these big presentations over different animals that were in different areas of the world, and I did mine on leopards, and I made this giant cutout that was flip-floppable because leopards can come in multiple different coats. Yeah. But I did one side was a black leopard and the other one was a spotted leopard. Yeah. It was really cool.
Okay, so
that's it.
No, questions on this. Is there a genetic difference between black and spotted, or it's just...
No, from what I remember, I think it's just where they're regionally found because they fit their regions. So I could be wrong, but I think spotted leopards are found in more jungly areas, and then the black panthers are located I don't remember leopard. Now I'm gonna look it up. Black and spotted. Yeah, it's really just an overproduction of melanin depending on where they're at.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you remember when... I'm trying to remember where it was at. There was a lion spotted, quote unquote, but it was a dog with a haircut.
No.
I need to find where that happened.
That's really funny.
But yeah.
It turns out to be a dog.
Yeah, no, I don't remember where it was at. But yeah, it was a dog with a haircut and a woman who wasn't wearing all of her glasses at that time. And she was like, there's a fucking lion in the streets. And so everyone rushes there and they're like, actually, just a dog, as it turns out.
That's really funny.
So I'm wondering, could something like that have happened here? Or because it was just Hurricane Katrina, what's the zoo situation there? And what's the exotic animal situation there?
Yeah.
Because it could be someone's exotic animal that got out.
Mm-hmm. Tiger King.
Yeah, literally. Where was he? What was he up to?
Yeah.
His friends. Yeah, where's the panther pal, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, that'd be scary though. Mm-hmm. That'd be like hiking, except panthers are way bigger and way more agile.
Yeah, that's absolutely terrifying to run. And because I imagine panthers are silent because mountain lions are silent and you don't know that they're there.
Yeah, and they're like black, so if you're walking amongst a bunch of trees and it's kind of dark out, there's no way you can see them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was thinking about I would be terrified to be hiking and see a mountain lion.
Yeah.
So let alone a panther.
Yeah.
Poop out of my butt. Yeah, that's it. Here you go. Maybe it'll be scared of me now because I smell like.
I'd be like, never mind, I don't want that. I think that's one of the
hungry.
tactics you're supposed to do if there's like an animal. Just like.
I thought it's if there's a man.
Also that, an animal.
Yeah.
Said what I said.
Yeah. Can you spot the difference?
Yeah, just like shit your pants. Some of them seem big. Some of them pretend you're dead. Easiest way to avoid all of that. Don't go outside.
Yeah, stay inside.
Be very indoorsy.
This is the start to my agoraphobia.
Story 3. Unsettling camping experience.
Some water. That's a good idea.
My throat is like... I don't have all of my voice today. All that hooping and hollering. Did I tell you my hand hurts?
Dumb.
From, I know exactly what I was doing. When people were singing karaoke at the bar we went to, I was pounding my fist jovially.
Hell yeah.
Right here specifically.
Yeah.
Is sore.
Checks out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But some people were really getting it. Unsettling camping experience. All right, so I've decided to share this story just in case anyone has a similar experience. In the summer of 2023, I was camping with my family in Beaver Creek Campground in Montana for a few nights while visiting Yellowstone. The first night there was the most unsettling experience I've ever had. My mother, stepfather, and his brother had all gone to sleep around midnight, while I stayed up for about an hour by the fire. It was pitch black when I decided to snuff out the fire and head to my tent to sleep. After about 20 minutes laying in my tent, I began to hear sniffing noises immediately outside of my tent. Fearing it was a bear, I was frozen. This continued for a while until I heard familiar breathing and shaking noises of that of a dog. I relaxed, supposing nearby camper's dog had wandered. I stopped hearing the dog after a while, but then I heard footsteps walking around our campsite and the sound of a large stick being dragged on the ground. Then I was frozen in fear again at the possibility of a stranger walking around our campsite in pitch darkness. Suddenly, an obvious camera flash had gone off right in front of my tent. I was frozen solid in fear. Later, it felt as though an animal or a person had laid down and cradled in the corner of my tent. I felt the presence for about 5 minutes, and kept feeling as if something was lightly fidgeting with the corners of the tent. Still frozen, I prayed for this to stop. But then I was forced to make this person, or whatever, acknowledge my awareness of the situation when I sensed another's touch on the zipper of my tent door. I called out loudly, "Who's there?" My stepdad awoke and called out to me while I was too afraid to open my door. 10 seconds passed, and I knew he was out of his tent with a gun. Then I emerged. However, there was nothing there, and after I called out, I didn't hear or sense any movement going away from the campsite. All the while, my mom and stepdad have the dog on their tent, which reacted to nothing the whole time. I slept in the car the next 2 nights, and nothing else happened. Anyone else have weird encounters like this in Montana, near Yellowstone, or in general? Thank you for reading my story. You are welcome.
Ew.
I hate that, and I would also have slept in it. I'd be like, let's leave.
Yeah. I
Why are you
don't need
still
to sleep in the car.
leave?
Let's just go. Yeah. Absolutely not. This is my worst nightmare. I feel like whenever we go camping, I'm always super hyper aware of the sounds going on outside of the tent because I am so terrified of something coming up in the middle of the night and doing something. I don't know what, but doing something. That's also another reason I love camping. I want so badly a tiny little trailer.
Yeah.
Because I hate getting up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom because I go to the bathroom a lot. Okay?
Yeah.
I have a tiny little bladder. And I have to go to the bathroom a lot.
That's the worst part. It's scary. It's dark. It's scary.
It's dark. It's the middle of the night.
No one knows you're going.
No one knows. I literally, I get up. I tell Quentin. He goes right back to sleep. He's not waking up until 6 in the morning, and I'm in the closet on the floor covered in a rug. He doesn't know. He doesn't know what's going on. He literally will just go back to sleep. So I get up and I go to the bathroom, and it's like 1 or 2 in the morning, and it's dead silent, and it's usually like really, really dark unless there's a full moon. And even when there's a full moon, it doesn't
Even
make
then
it
it's
any
creepy,
better.
no, because then
like,
you can't see everything. And then I also think about, like, I was like, other people can see me peeing, because I don't go that far.
Yeah,
like,
I don't. Not in the middle of the night.
No.
I'm not going very far. And I know you're not supposed to do that because that attracts animals. But at the same time,
I'm scared.
I'm not trying to get snatched by a little flesh pedestrian wandering in the woods and not deer out there. Mm-hmm. The spot that we went to recently, there's a big open field behind it, and when we were sitting out there at night, I kept looking over at Katie, and I was like, "Do you see anything out there?" Because it was a full moon, so you could see everything out there, but it was like shadows and stuff.
I don't like that.
So I literally I kept looking over it, and I was like, "What is that? What is that?"
I don't like that.
Yeah. So when I got up to go to the bathroom at like 1 in the morning, I was looking out at that field the whole time I was peeing, and I kept thinking about, I was like, what if I just see something like start running out of the wood? Oh, God. Oh, I'm like trying to pee.
You're
and
just
I'm
like, shit, I gotta get.
Yeah, no, I literally was like, like watching and listening to every single noise that I could hear.
Yeah.
I can't.
I'm like such a hard sleeper. So when we went camping and you guys were like, oh yeah, did you hear the coyotes last night? No, I didn't. And I was alone in my tent, like farthest away I could get from everyone else. And I was like, if that was something coming to get us, I would have had no clue.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
I would have woken up if I heard something.
Yeah, me screaming after getting my flesh ripped apart.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't have woken.
Until it was like in your tent.
I don't know.
You know what's also really creepy? People, like the missing 411 stuff, and also just the idea of people just like going missing in the middle of the night. Mm-hmm. Because then there's no noise at all.
No.
It's literally like you're asleep and then you're gone.
Yeah.
And who knows where you went.
If it's anything like weapons, you went to, spoiler alert, a basement.
I wouldn't be able to stay there. Thinking about somebody sleeping curled up on my tent.
No.
What are they doing there?
I would have. Did you have weapons in your tent? I always like to have some sort of weapon in my tent.
Mm-hmm. You need something to make sure that, you don't want...
Yeah. Wasp spray is a good one that goes up to 30 feet. Mm-hmm. So they don't got to be that close.
A gun.
Guns. Goes up to 30 feet. They don't got to be that close.
Can go even farther, some of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
That's what you need when you're
bring
camping.
both of those. Just like double it up.
Yeah. Start spraying.
Yeah,
you don't even know what's going on.
Spray wasp spray into their wounds. Yeah, start like...
Oh, I meant spraying the gun.
Also,
okay.
You do both.
Yeah.
That way they're extra wounded. Because I imagine that doesn't feel good in your eyes or your bullet holes.
Eee.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah, I don't like this. This story makes me all icky feeling.
Ew.
Yeah, I wonder if I'm sure other people have stories like that, right?
Yeah, outside of Yellowstone has to be super haunted. That whole part of the country is very, like, a lot of shit went down.
Yeah.
So, not surprised if it's anything.
Ooh, something else I didn't think about, and I'm reading the comments and somebody brought it up. The flash.
Yeah.
The camera flash is really weird.
Yeah. So I know there's, like, hill folk. Do they have that in Montana?
They might, but do hill folk have phones or cameras?
It could be like a Polaroid. Like an old camera.
It could be. They had, like...
like, hey, I like that tent. Good setup.
I need this for our little village.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah. Okay, anyway.
Stay inside.
Story 4. Mimic Skinwalker. Oh, I said it. I said it.
Wait to see if you were gonna say
Oh God.
You didn't mean it. Just kidding.
I read it because I'm like reading it on the paper, and then the second it came out of my mouth, it tasted bad. It's fine. I only said it once. It's like Bloody Mary. You have to say it 3 times. No, just kidding.
That used to scare me so much as a kid.
I saw somebody talk about how they knew that they had OCD because and this is, I'm like, I've never had an original experience in my entire life, but they were like, whenever they first heard of Bloody Mary, and even after that, they would go into the bathroom and they'd be unable to. Ooh, I just got a weird noise in my ear. That was weird. It was like,
Enhance the audio.
if it comes through on the mic, I hope it does. But when she learned about Bloody Mary, she couldn't go into the bathroom and like look in the mirror because she was afraid that she would think it 3 times in a row while looking at the mirror.
Yeah, I did that.
Yeah, I did that a lot. I still do that. Like I like look in the mirror and I'm like, don't think about it too much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a grown ass woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I
Just in case, who am I to tempt it?
exactly. Why would I do that? So now I'm gonna.
Yeah, even now I'm like, how many times have you said it?
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm like thinking about saying the flesh pedestrian thing. Now I'm like, okay, well, I'm not gonna be able to sleep the rest of the fucking night. Every time I hear anything, I'm just gonna think of that. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, mimic or flesh pedestrian. My strange encounter in northern New Mexico. So a little backstory. My friends and I have been hiking and backpacking around the area many times, at least once a year on a good long multi-day backpacking trip. A few times in the same location, and other than car problems and sometimes friends not bringing the right gear, we've never had any issues. This specific trip was about 6 miles in, 6 miles out, up to a lake with about 6,000 feet like elevation change.
Yeah.
We did it in October, so we were preparing for extreme cold, potentially below freezing at night. There were only 3 of us, and we were all geared up for this. I was probably the least geared up out of the trio, and I knew I'd be perfectly comfortable. So we began to trek in. Took us until the end of the day, and we...
My mom's calling me.
Woo, 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 and whoop, up it down. Mommy.
Hello?
What are you doing?
We're recording the episode. What are you doing?
I'm sorry. I forgot.
That's okay.
You good?
Yeah, I'm just struggling.
Okay.
I keep kicking things over. I'm getting hooked on things.
Oh, no.
My big, juicy booty is hitting stuff.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
So we begin the trek in. It took us until the end of the day, and we got to the lake no problem. We set up camp and just enjoyed ourselves to the sounds of nature. We had some MREs and a couple of pints of whiskey. Pints? A couple of pints?
Of whiskey, nonetheless. That's a lot.
At the end of the night, we all settled into our sleeping quarters, myself in a small tent, my friend in a hammock right next to me around the fire pit, and our other friend some distance away from us in another tent. Now, it's important to note that my friend in the hammock was camped right next to me, maybe 10 feet away, while our other friend was about 100 feet away or so. I had trouble sleeping, and I was restless. Even though I was warm, I kept getting shivers. I was frequently tossing and turning in my sleeping bag, which I just attributed to the cold. I didn't think anything of it at this time, and eventually I began to drift to sleep. The forest around was quiet, with the occasional sound of insects buzzing or a bird taking flight from a tree. But that's when I was awoken from the sound of my friend's voice, clear as day. I was groggy and a little confused as to why he was waking me up, but I clearly heard him say my name, help me. I immediately froze as he sounded really desperate and said, my name again, help me. Then before I got the chance to speak, I heard the voice again. My name, help, I have to pee. Then he laughed in a way that sincerely only my friend does. It was a giggle that I've known since we met many years ago, and so I responded, haha, fuck off, I'm trying to sleep. I thought that he was just trying to be funny. Thinking back on it, it would have been out of character for him to wake me up to pull some stupid joke like that, but I was half asleep and wrote it off. Although I knew something didn't quite feel right about it, I decided to just ignore him and let him do his business. He persisted. "Help, I need you. Come out here." I just mumbled about going back to sleep and to just go if he needed to. My memory's a little foggy as to how we conversed back and forth and what exactly was said, but afterwards I noticed he hadn't made any noise to leave or go pee or get back in his hammock, which I found odd again, but I brushed it off as nothing. Once the voice had been gone for a while, I assumed he had quietly gone on and gotten back to his hammock. I realized I had to pee badly and wasn't going to get any sleep until I did, so I got out of my tent and immediately walked over to his hammock to pull the same stunt he had on me, calling his name in a joking manner and waking him up to let him know I was there. But when he woke up, he was immediately thrown off by this. That's when I told him I was just going to pee like you had told me you were going to a little bit ago. Maybe 15 minutes had passed, not enough time for someone to get back in their multi-layer cold weather hammock, set up, and fall deeply asleep again. Not to mention, he hadn't made a sound since our conversation stopped. He asked me what the hell I was talking about, and I asked him over and over if he was just outside my tent. He swore up and down he had been asleep since he laid down that night and never once got out of his hammock. That's when I felt the real chills go down my spine. Whatever had been outside of my tent asking for help in this high-pitched, mocking voice that my friend would sometimes joke with was not him. I told him, "Oh, okay." It was nothing then, and I proceeded to go pee, keeping my eyes on my surroundings the whole time. Eventually, I was able to get back in my tent, warm up, and get drowsy enough to sleep, even though the events that had just transpired terrified me to my core. I am well aware of the lore of the areas around northern New Mexico, and I wouldn't be the first of my friends to go missing without a trace.
Huh?
What?
Had I opened my tent and followed that voice that night. Somehow I shook it off and was tired enough to start drifting to sleep after I got cozied up. That's when it actually tried to get me. That half-awake state between sleeping and awake. You know, the place where you suddenly feel like you're falling and get jolted awake? Except this time I wasn't falling. Something had grabbed onto my tent and was dragging it at what felt like 50 miles per hour across the forest floor. I felt every bump when the tent was hitting tree stumps and rocks, destroying my tent and thrashing me around viciously as I was being pulled at an insane speed through the trees. Seemingly in a straight line, though, which didn't make sense in hindsight because of how dense the trees are there. I yelled out and could feel my vocal cords moving, but very little sound came out. I must have traveled a good several hundred feet like this. That's when I opened my eyes. The only thing that felt different was the tent was no longer moving. During this weird trance state of being dragged to my tent, everything looked identical. I was perfectly aware of my surroundings. It felt nothing like a dream. However, when I finally opened my eyes, I was laying in my tent, seemingly undisturbed and unharmed. I called out to my friend, feeling bad for waking him up, but now needing to know what was reality, as the last place felt so real. He groggily woke up and said something back to me before going back to sleep. His response sounded legitimate to me. I thought, that actually sounds like him. Realizing that whatever I had heard earlier was so far away from anything he could actually do or say. The thing that called out to me in a high-pitched, whiny voice, mimicking my friend saying, "Help, help me, I need help, I have to pee, come out here," it still weirds me out to this day. After asking him about it the next morning, he just laughed and swore to me that he absolutely did not get up in the middle of the night to say anything to me, much less joke around with me about getting out of my tent to help him. Whatever that was specifically targeted me. My friends have been back there since, but I opted out of that trip.
Well, this is a clear-cut case.
I feel like you answered your own question.
Yeah. I do think the tent dragging, probably some hypnagogue after being very scared, and drinking some pints of whiskey. But before that, yeah, probably.
Yeah. The voice before is definitely very of character of a flesh pedestrian, the voice mimicking, but it being a little bit off and trying to lure you out of your tent. It's really funny that it chose a joking way to do that.
Yeah.
Hey, come out of your tent. I have to pee. You have to come help me get out of my hammock.
Would something like that do that, or could it be like some sort of more trickstery type?
What do you mean?
creature. We talked about like fairies and things earlier.
Oh, gotcha. I was like
Like they
a
can,
different
they
type
can
of
be a bit
creature. Yeah.
trickier.
Yeah.
A little more cheeky with, fucking your shit.
Yeah. I would have, but I think the best way to, if it wanted to do anything, if it was just something cheeky and just trying to like spook them, then that makes more sense. But if it actually wanted you to get out of your tent, see, if I was in the forest with my friends,
Yeah.
and I heard my friend start screaming for help, that would be the way for me to get out of my tent.
Right.
So
same.
fast. Yeah.
Yeah. Even if you were like, basically what we were talking about earlier, it's night, I have to pee, it's dark and scary, I'd be like, yeah, I'll go with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I probably have to pee too.
Yeah.
So,
We can hold hands.
you know what? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And we
Support
don't
each other.
pee on our shoes.
But yeah, there are, if you wanted me out of my tent fast, like you're trying to snatch me up, the best way to do that is to start yelling for help, and I'm,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm out of that tent.
And then got.
Yeah, you got me at that point. That would be so spooky. But the laughing, I wouldn't be able. I couldn't do that. And that makes perfect sense of why you would have a nightmare like that, because of how.
Right, yeah, I think that's definitely a nightmare. Like, you've been drinking, you're spooked. You're going in and out of hypnagogia, you said it yourself. So yeah, I think you had probably a nightmare after something that was legitimately weird happening.
Yeah, because it is the flesh pedestrians are a lot in that area, so yeah. Another thing too, I saw this person's comment and I did think of it, but it just brought it back to my mind. They could have been sleep talking.
Yeah. That was my first thought, sleep talking.
Yeah, because
I've been known to
drinking.
sleep talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
To bring up Bettina and me sleep talking. I have reoccurring dreams where my soul is being like signed into a book and stripped down to hell. It's the Catholic Guild. And for a while I was like having a lot of those dreams, and then Bettina and I went to Salem. We stayed in Rockport, but we were visiting Salem, and I had one of those dreams that night. And so her and I are sleeping, and she just hears me like, having a nightmare, and she's like, "Are you good?" And I was like, "No." And then I didn't respond at all until like morning. She's like, "Hey, I didn't like that. Don't do that. That was weird." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I had another dream where I was gonna like sign like my soul into this book, and I really didn't want to, but I don't remember how the dream ended." And she's like, "Hey, so I don't like that. Stop doing that."
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't remember talking to her at all.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It could have been that with this person, and I see they commented, and they're like, I lived with him for 10 years, and he never has sleep talk before. But I'm like,
okay, are you like sleeping in the same room all the time though?
yeah, and also, again, like he's been drinking pints of whiskey.
Pints of whiskey. Like, were you passing the pint around? Or were you just like, everybody get a pint and whoop? Because that's a lot of whiskey.
Ooh, after the
got
weekend that we
questions.
had, I cannot think about drinking. Makes my mouth salivate. Yeah, it's something weird definitely did happen.
Yeah.
Not the tent, though.
Creepy stuff happens in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, that's why you stay inside, you guys. Stay
Yeah.
indoors.
Yeah, become indoorsy. Be like us. Actually, you go outside.
I do go outside.
Yeah, you be outside. Be like me. Stay in your house. Don't talk to anyone. Only talk to strangers on the internet, but it's only one-sided because sometimes you guys don't leave that many comments, so it's hard to have a dialogue. So yeah, did that make you feel any better?
You know what? It didn't. I don't know if it was the Bigfoot calls or the flesh pedestrian sightings, but I'm feeling a little woozy.
Are you okay? You need anything?
Actually, I do. I need for all of you to like, comment, subscribe, follow, share, all of that fun stuff. You can find us everywhere at what was that _ the pod. Or if you'd like to share your own story, like some of these Redditors did, you can email us at whatwasthat.thepod@gmail.com.
I think that's the perfect remedy for you. So you guys better do it quick, or else she's gonna come after you.
Turn you into a flesh pedestrian and seek you out. I don't know. I had a lot of trouble finding the end to this episode. Wait, what was that? That's it. And that's a wrap, boys.